Vocola 3 is an add-on for Windows speech recognition which lets you add custom commands. In a sense, it's quite similar to Windows speech recognition macros, but much easier to set up, has simpler code, and doesn't require any digital signatures for sets of commands. Downloading and installing Vocola 3 is very easy. In My Documents you will find a new folder called Vocola 3, and in Commands are your command files. Each one has the extension VCL, but is effectively a text file, and you will need to decide what you will use to edit them. Ideally, you want something which lets you easily select and correct text anywhere in the file with voice recognition, lets you undo multiple code corrections, doesn't use a lot of RAM, and is very good with mass find and replace options, helpful for changing values across a given file. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that fits all of these criteria. Out of Microsoft Word, WordPad, Notepad and EditPad Lite, you get these desirable qualities. Note that both Word and WordPad sometimes warn you that you are saving your file as a plain text file, which is annoying. And Word highlights all the spelling and grammar errors that result from the code not being grammatically correct, which is the case with almost all of the code. A multi-step undo might seem unnecessary, but in Notepad you may find you mumbled something and then it deleted a sequence of words you didn't want it to. If you then press any key or say anything but a clear undo or press Ctrl Zulu, that overwrites the edit, and means that there is no way to recover the deleted words. So Notepad is riskier than you might think. Once you've decided on your program, you should set it as the default program for opening VCL files, but you can still open with the other programs if you need their advantages now and then. I use WordPad personally, mostly because I've used it this way for a few years and it's how I visualize the code, right down to this font. The advantage of easy selection and correction by voice should not be underestimated, because it means you could use Windows speech recognition to switch from your game to your VCL file, correct or enhance your code, save it, then move back to the game and have the new commands available immediately. To create the files, with Vocola 3 running in a new application, you say Open Commands, which will create a new VCL file. This file is specific to that application. Any commands you enter into that will only be available in that application. This avoids you having to manually switch profiles. The exception to this is the global commands list, revealed by saying Open Global Commands. These commands will be active in every application you use, so long as Vocola 3 is loaded. Note that if you have saved your VCL file with an error in its code, such as no semicolon at the end of a command line, this will be highlighted only when you click on the relevant window, and none of your commands will be available until you've fixed that, saved the file, and clicked back on the application. Note that the Vocola error log will only pop up if the window isn't already open, so it's a good idea to close it, otherwise you're not informed that you've made an error. It's also a good idea to clear the error log, because if you correct your error but accidentally make another one, then when it loads up, it's still got your previous error listed, as well as the new one, and this can become confusing because it doesn't timestamp these, or let you know these came from different versions of the file. So clearing and closing is always the best option for debugging. If you are frequently getting errors, it may help to make a global command to clear and close the Vocola log, to make things a little faster, regardless of the file you're trying to edit. There is online documentation for the commands, although they are somewhat limited in what they can do. For example, you can't generally do your standard variable manipulation. There is a function library of more elaborate commands, and the code has some rather elegant shortcuts and shorthand. Open sample commands will give you an idea of what most of the code looks like. I'll go through the most useful commands in another video.